Welcome to Math with Professor V. I have a new integral of the day for you all. We have indefinite integral of the square root of 1 plus e to the x dx. So pause the video if you want to try it on your own. I'm going to give you a hint though. You need to use more than one integration technique, and the first one is good old u sub. So on that note, it's not helpful if we let u be e to the x or even 1 plus e to the x, because du will not appear anywhere. So what I'm going to do, go in aggressively, and let's let u equal the square root of 1 plus e to the x. All right, good. Don't find du just yet. Make your life nice. Let's square both sides. U squared equals 1 plus e to the x. Now I'm going to differentiate both sides so I can find du. So 2u du equals, derivative of 1 is 0. This is just e to the x dx. So what does that tell me? That tells me dx equals 2u du over e to the x. Now this is slightly problematic because I can't replace dx with something that still contains x's in it. We have to switch entirely to u's. But have no fear. I'm just going to come, actually right here, rearrange and solve for e to the x in terms of u. Fabulous. So, boop, just subtract over 1, and we have that e to the x equals u squared minus 1. So now I can put this together and say that dx equals 2u du over u squared minus 1. Beautiful. Okay. Let's rewrite our integral. Here we go. I no longer have square root of 1 plus e to the x. All of this whole thing is u. Great. Let me circle for you. All of this is u, which is right here. And then what about good old dx hanging out here? Dx is 2u du over u squared minus 1. Okay, 2u du over u squared minus 1. Excellent. Okay, now how to proceed. So I'm going to clean things up a little bit. Let's just take that 2 in the numerator outside, and then I have u squared du over u squared minus 1, right? U squared because we have this u times this u. Now, when you have a rational function, and if it's not bottom heavy meaning degree of the denominator is higher, then you need to long divide. But when you just have a couple terms like this and this numerator, the leading term matches the leading term of the denominator, you can take a little shortcut and not sit there and do long division because, you know, it's not always the most fun. So what I'm going to do in the numerator, you go, oh man, if only I had a minus 1 up here, then it would match the denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and make it happen. I'm going to add a minus 1. But you can't just go willy-nilly subtracting 1 in numerators. You have to add 1 as well. That way you really just added 0 and nothing is changed. No harm was done. Yes? Okay, love it. What was the point of doing that? Well, I'm going to break up the integrand now. Watch this. So you have u squared minus 1. I'm going to write that over u squared minus 1 separately from the positive one over u squared minus 1. And then let's put some parentheses, du. So these two terms got written over the denominator separately, and then this little guy all by himself over here. All right. Why are we excited? Because now we have avoided long division. I have 2 times the integral of 1 plus 1 over u squared minus 1 du. Okay, how to deal with this term here? Because I know we can take the antiderivative of 1. That's easy. It's just u. Oh, too bad it's not a plus. Then it would be tan inverse. Some of you may have memorized the antiderivative of 1 over u squared minus 1, but I don't really recommend memorizing too much if you can derive it within a minute or so. So how to proceed from here, we're going to do partial fraction decomposition. Unless you memorized it. Some people just love memorizing stuff. Not me. I memorize only what I have to. So let's factor the denominator, u squared minus 1. That's going to factor into u minus 1 times u plus 1. So we'll have constants in the top because both of the factors in the denominator are linear, not repeated. Multiplying everything through by the LCD, which is u minus 1, u plus 1. Now we get 1 equals a times u plus 1 plus b times u minus 1. Now you could distribute everything, or you could do a little substitution so you could solve for a and b. So if we let u equal negative 1, on the left-hand side I still have 1 equals a times 0 plus b times negative 1 minus 1. So that means 1 equals negative 2b, so b is negative 1/2. And then similarly, we just repeat the process. So I picked minus 1 because that would make this whole factor 0, and then now I'm going to let u equal positive 1. And then on the left, we still have 1 equals a times 1 plus 1 plus b times 0. So 1 equals 2a, which means a is 1/2. So now I'm going to go back right here and rewrite this integral with my partial fraction decomposition. So now we have, let's tell the people what's going on. So we have, don't forget, there was a 2 sitting outside integral. I have 1 plus, and then I'm going to list, let's see, a was positive 1/2 over u minus 1. So 1/2 over u minus 1. And then b was negative 1/2. So I'm going to write minus 1/2 over u plus 1 du. Okay, we should be ready to integrate now, yeah? 2, antiderivative of 1 is just u. This 1/2 just comes along for the ride. You're going to have ln, absolute value, u minus 1. Same thing with the other 1/2, minus 1/2 ln, absolute value, u plus 1. And then right away put plus c, because we've already taken an antiderivative, so don't wait and put it at the very end. No. Okay, let's distribute the 2 that's in the front. So then now we have 2u plus ln absolute value u minus 1 minus ln absolute value u plus 1 plus c. And then grand finale, replace u with what we originally substituted it for, which was square root of 1 plus e to the x. So this is 2 square root 1 plus e to the x plus ln. I'm going to switch to parentheses because square root of 1 plus e to the x, that's never negative, and also it's going to be greater than 1. So if I put minus 1, I'm good. I don't need absolute value. If you're an especially paranoid student and you want to keep the absolute value, it's not wrong. It's just not necessary. But check with your instructor if they would take points off. I wouldn't, but you know, you never know. So that's it. That is our solution. Let's scoot it over so we can fit a nice box around it. Box it with pride. That was a job well done. So I hope you all enjoyed this integral of the day. My Calc 2 class just finished learning all their integration techniques. So we reviewed how to decide which one to use, which is difficult. Yes, it takes just lots of practice. And then they have their exam coming up in 2 weeks before spring break. So I like to give a test right before spring break so they can properly enjoy their week off. I hope everyone out there is doing well, studying hard for their classes. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment down below. What was your favorite part of this integral? Did you find it challenging? On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard was it? Anyways, that's it. If you need full-length video lectures on any topics in Calc 2 or Calc 1 or Calc 3 or pre-calc or trig, and I have a lot of algebra actually too, then check out the playlists on my YouTube channel. They're organized by topic and class. And then if you would like to submit some questions, I can film another episode of Ask Professor V. I've been doing a series of more Q&A style questions for students. Submit those below, or you can email me mathwithprofessorv at gmail.com. I love you all. I'll be back soon. Bye.